Howdy folks! When we go to Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, most of the time we get to go over to Serenity Bay, which is the adult beach over on Castaway Cay. Specifically, when we go to Serenity Bay, we like going to Serenity Bay BBQ, the eating establishment over on the adult beach. We're going to talk about Serenity Bay BBQ here in a moment. Okay, we love cruising, and of course, part of cruising is eating. So when we go on cruises on the Disney Cruise Line, we get to go to Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, and they have Cookies, which is over on the Family Beach. They have Cookies too, over on the Family Beach. Both excellent places to go eat. But then when you go to the adult beach over at Serenity Bay, there is Serenity Bay BBQ. Well, what we're going to speak to here in a moment is actually the Serenity Bay BBQ, the food, the surroundings, and walking through the line and seeing really what is at Serenity Bay BBQ. We went in late September 2022 on the Disney Dream. We were supposed to go to Castaway 2 different times. Sadly, we didn't make it to Castaway. It was supposed to be a double dip. You pay a little extra, really. You pay a premium already for Disney, but you pay more of a premium to get this double dip. Because of Hurricane Ian, the outer bands coming around, we did hit the first day we were able to get off. And in fact, we got a cabana on that day. We're going to have a separate video related to the cabana and us being there. And the reason we got the cabana was because my in-laws' 50th anniversary. By the time they actually got to go on the cruise, it was about 51.5 years, but I digress. Also, my father-in-law's birthday. So we decided, let's splurge and let's get a cabana. We'd had one once before and we decided to do that again. But also, then we got to go to Serenity Bay BBQ. Now, the second day, we didn't get to go because Hurricane Ian came through in the middle of the night. There was a lot of rough waters. Even though it wasn't a direct hit on the Bahamas, the way outer bands still really caused a lot of gyration in the ocean in that particular part of the world. So we didn't get to stop and go there. But at least we got to go this one time. Thank goodness. So like I said, if you're going to eat on the island, there's a lot of good options. There's Cookies and Cookies too over on the main Family Beach or on the main beach. And then there's this Serenity Bay BBQ. The one thing I'll warn you about, if you have some special needs or some special eating needs, Serenity Bay BBQ does not really cover those needs. You'll still have to go to Cookies or Cookies too. And that's fine. There's excellent food. There's a few things that you can get at Serenity Bay BBQ, though, that you cannot get over at the normal Cookies and Cookies too. So when it came time to eat, all these establishments are open from about 11:30 until about 2 o'clock. Thankfully, it wasn't raining in the period when we were wanting to go. It rained a little bit later as it was nearing closing time. The rain came in and really wiped out everything here on Castaway. Thankfully, we did have that cabana and we didn't have to worry about getting rained on. But we got there and it was about the 11:30 time frame. So we got in line, and we went through this experience. We're going to be showing the video and I'm going to be showing pictures as well as we're going along here. You first went in, and of course you have to grab the sanitizing wipe and wiping your hands, and thank goodness that's still taking place. That's one thing we've noticed on Disney. At the beginning of lines, generally speaking on Disney Cruise Line, there's somebody there to encourage you to do that. When we were on Royal a few months back, the cruise that I got COVID on, people that were not encouraged to sanitize, they were not encouraged to wipe their hands at the beginning of many of these places. So I was happy to see when we were encouraged again to do it here. We wore masks as well on both occasions. It's just one of those deals. Take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to protect yourself. But even before COVID, we were wiping our hands. So now, of course, we need to still be wiping our hands. As you're starting to walk through the line, you're walking up to the building. The covered area is not that big, in all honesty. But you're seeing the smoke and you're smelling the cooked meats and all of that. And you're kind of getting, your senses are getting, okay, this smells good. I know it's going to taste good because this isn't my first time here. I think this was my 4th time to Castaway. So you're walking through, you've got your hands washed. Someone gives you a plate and the silverware, and I'm glad they give me the silverware. I'm sure I would forget it. if they didn't hand me both items. So you're holding that there in the beginning, but also as well, though, it's a little bit goofy to try to hold that silverware in the plate and get things. Maybe the silverware would be nicer at the end. I don't know. The first thing you get to are kind of the salads. You get a noodle salad, there's slaw, there's potato salad. All of it looks plenty fine. Never got any of it. In any of my occasions, I have a thing about picnics and going to about getting that type of salad. I'm sure it's plenty cold and it's kept fine. I did get the slaw on another sandwich that's already put on it here in a bit that I will speak to when we're speaking to the taste and how the food was. But there's the salads. The next thing you go to is the condiment area. Okay, I'm looking here and I'm already confused a little bit because I don't really know what I'm wanting at this point. I'm smelling all this stuff. I'm looking at all this stuff. I'm really just preparing for the main things I'm getting here in a moment. But they want you here to get your cheese, if you want a cheeseburger or want cheese on anything else, your lettuce, your tomatoes, your pickles, your onions, things like that. If you want a good burger with everything on it, you've got to start collecting it right then and getting it ready. Just keep that in mind as you're going through that line. As you hit the corner, there's some potato chips, Lay's and barbecue Lay's and things like that that you can get there. As you turn, that's where you get your buns. Your hamburger bun, your hot dog bun. Of course, if you want a hot dog, you need to get your bun right there. If you want a hamburger, you get your bun right there. Maybe if you want to fashion a grilled chicken sandwich or some other type of, maybe a ribeye sandwich as you're going through, maybe you want to get a bun there. So as you make the turn, that's more of the breads and the cold things before you make the big turn. And when you make that big turn, you're already in the middle of all this smoke that's all around you. You know, if you have asthma or something of that nature or have trouble breathing, maybe you want someone to go up there for you. Maybe you want to tell them what you would like and not be in the middle of it. I could see where this maybe would affect some people on certain days when that smoke is coming down on you. Thankfully, I don't have those specific issues, but for those of you that do, you need to think about it. But as you turn that corner and you start getting to the hot things, first of all, there's some things up at the top. There's these little bitty corn on the cobs my wife loves. There's a chili that was there as well. There's also this other little warmer that had some barbecued ribs in it. Now, we didn't try it right then. I wish we would have right then. If I'm very honest with you, I came back for second lunch later, mainly to get those barbecued ribs and to give them a try because we'd heard so many good things about these ribs. So they're there. The other thing up front was a beef brisket sandwich, which was very, very little bit of beef brisket on it. There was the bun, there was slaw. It probably would have been better if you kind of could have gotten double or triple the amount of the beef brisket. There just wasn't enough brisket on it really to taste it. You could go out and get a condiments and get the barbecue sauce and stuff to put on it, but I'll talk about that in a minute. There's also hot dogs over to the side that you can get. There's sometimes seafood and grilled chicken to get. All those, I think, would be good choices as well. But behind, that's what I'm here for. I'm smelling the ribs being cooked, that I'll come back and get later. But I'm also smelling that ribeye steak. The ribeye steak they have is fairly thin. It's not a real thick ribeye, but it's more like what I would call a luncheon ribeye. Something that they can cook fairly quickly. There's also hamburgers back there that you can get. Both of them very smoky, very grilled out tasting. Both very good choices. I got a ribeye. Other people in our party got a hamburger. Everybody got a ribeye, let's face that. You can get your ribeye well done if you want to. And thankfully, when we were there that day, 3 of the 4 of us wanted it well done. I wanted mine however it came, which I think is either medium or medium well, but they're so thin, there's not much of a difference between them. But the folks that wanted it well done, someone brought it out to the table when it was done. So we didn't have to sit there and wait. And that was a positive thing versus what used to be the case. What used to be the case was you would stand there and wait and wait and wait, and you'd be in the smoke. Not a great environment. So that was a positive thing that we did this time that we didn't experience before. So we got our ribeyes, we got everything we wanted there. Well, everything we thought we wanted. To me, when I'm in this portion at Castaway, it's kind of like the little kid in A Christmas Story when he goes to see Santa and he's saying, well, Santa asks what he wants and he freezes up. It's kind of what I do here. There's all this smoke and all these people and all these things, and it's like, what do I get? No, I'm getting the ribeye, but didn't get the hamburger. I've gotten it before, loved it before, but didn't this day. From that point, you can turn around behind this little area under the same roof, and that's where they have some other items. They have the chocolate chip cookies, the big old chocolate chip cookies. From what I understand, the big wonderful chocolate chip cookies. I'm not a chocolate chip cookie lover, but for those that do love those, this is going to be perfect for you. Big cookies. I know that my wife, my in-laws both ate some of these while on the island. They brought some on the ship and ate them then. Big cookies. Also, there were some other things over there. There was a muffin or Texas cornbread, I believe is what it was called. It looked like there was corn and some form of peppers in it. Tried it, it was all right. There were these wonderful little pound cakes. I'll tell you what they were absolutely called in a moment, but those were excellent. There was an assortment of fruit. As well, there was an area with little dips and hummus and things like that. Pretty good choices for everybody that wanted something over here at the barbecue. Then when you left out there, you could go get your condiments. Somebody would actually be manning that station that have mustard and mayo and ketchup and barbecue sauce and things like that. Salt, pepper, all of that was contained in the middle, and someone was doing the little containers and you could go and get those. Around the corner, there was Cokes. Of course, there's Coke products on a Disney cruise. All of these were contained right there. All those Coke products, Coke, Diet Coke, everything like that you would ever want, and the cups that you would use there as well. And then the last thing, when you turn the other corner, related to the actual ice cream. There was, on this specific day, the soft serve. There was vanilla and chocolate put together. There wasn't, and that's wonderful. If you like that, if you love that, good for you. I can definitely eat it. My favorite is strawberry and banana. I wasn't there that day. I've seen it there on Castaway before. Didn't get it that specific day. But also, you can get that on the ship a lot of the time. You can always get vanilla chocolate or vanilla chocolate swirl, but very often you can get other flavors, and my favorite is always the strawberry banana. So we got all of our food. We found our picnic table to sit at. We sat down. I went and got everybody drinks. Our steaks came, and we were ready to eat our big feast. So I have always loved coming to this joint. I mean, it's really nothing fancy. It's a barbecue. It's kind of a picnic setting. You go up and get what you want. You sit down, you eat it. You can go back and get more anywhere between that 11:30 and 2 setting. The thing is, once you go through line and once you pick out what you want and once you sit down, you realize that line has grown. It is not only the little line that you started in, it has gone outside of the barbecue area, over into the main walkway area into there. So I'll just tell you up front, if you want something, you probably need to get it first or either wait to come back later when the line kind of calms down. Now, related to our opinions of the food, I'm going to have an opinion, and you're going to hear me talking mainly, but I did record some folks there on that actual day when they were eating. You'll hear my mother-in-law, Kathy. You'll hear my father-in-law, Bobby, as well as my wife, Christy. All of them have opinions about the food, and then, of course, myself. I'll kind of put some of that throughout and put it in when I'm talking as well. But our experience overall at this location on this day was excellent. I can tell you that much. So let's talk about the food. I'll give you my opinion of the ribeye steak starting out here. Then I'll put everybody else's in a little bit. Ribeye steak, I love it. Always love this steak. A little bitty thin steak, but cooked very well. A very good smoky, outdoor, like it's been grilled out taste. Love that steak. And I think most everybody in our party did like that steak. I think Kathy a little bit maybe wasn't what she expected, and maybe she didn't expect a luncheon ribeye, but all in all, the ribeyes, big hit yet again.
So the steak, before you take that bite, tell me about the steak.
All those years ago,
I think it was too thin and it needed salt for me, but
We brought salt over.
we ate it.
To me, there was enough smoke in it. Yeah. So you're a person that likes to salt stuff.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I live with someone that loves salt.
So you need you some salt. As far as the steak, you like the steak?
I like the steak. Had a good grilled out taste to it. Yeah, I like the steak.
Okay. How about your steak?
My steak was wonderful.
As usual.
It's a grilled steak. It's smoky and charcoaly and
I think it's kind of what we call
fresh.
a luncheon ribeye sometimes. Yeah. It's a thin thing.
Like something you get at Demas's, but better.
Okay. I had the steak and the steak was wonderful, and I'm going to come back for a second steak in a little while. So don't be judgy.
Top of it and just ate it with a fork.
I like the smoked out, cooked out taste of that steak.
I love the fresh. It's fresh, it's hot, and it's smoky. I don't know how else to describe it.
It's the smoky that hits me, I guess.
It's the grill.
So that's not burned, but it's so thin that they can get that done. Because mine, I mean, really, it wasn't pink because it's so thin.
And even though it's thin, there's just enough fat on the edges to give it flavor.
Now the brisket sandwich, I got it. Kathy got the brisket sandwich. We tried it. I got some barbecue sauce and put on it. I don't think either one of us loved this sandwich, and that's fine because there were plenty of other things. I got it mainly to try it. I put the barbecue sauce on it, helped the taste, but I think what it's really missing is meat. It's kind of like the old Wendy's advertisement, where's the beef? It's what I felt like right here. So brisket sandwich, probably wouldn't get it again when I go next time.
So what do you think about the little brisket sandwich?
Wasn't what I expected.
But what did you taste? What was the?
I tasted more of the salt than I did the meat.
There wasn't enough meat on it,
Yeah,
I think.
it needed to have a little more meat. But it was good. I ate it.
The moral of this story is she expects more meat.
She expects more meat,
There
apparently.
goes couple number 2.
I had the brisket sandwich with slaw, and I would agree with her in that there was not near enough brisket on it. If you're used to the Buc-ee's brisket, it's not even near. It's a different thing.
Okay, the hot dog. Kathy got a hot dog. I could see that it was cooked like it is everywhere else, even though you could tell this one was grilled out. We have gotten it here. We've gotten it at room service. I've seen it up at Flo's V8. All of those different occasions, thankfully, Disney does a fairly good job at thoroughly cooking the hot dog. It just doesn't look like one of those, red weenies that you'll see as you cook as a kid, maybe in water. All in all, it looks like a regular, good hot dog. Good choice if that's what you're wanting.
Okay, now we're figuring. I'm not sure what you ate.
I had a hot dog with no bun.
So how was that?
It was good.
Okay.
It was a hot dog.
How about
Dog was good.
It was very good.
Oh yeah, that hot dog was good.
Now, related to the hamburger, my father-in-law got the hamburger. I've had it before. He loved the hamburger. He loved the taste, loved the grilled out taste of that hamburger. We got several other hamburgers on the cruise as well. Up at Flo's V8, another excellent hamburger. I must say he did get one in the main dining room when we went at lunch on one day. He didn't like that burger. I got it and I tasted it. I didn't like that burger. That burger was way, I don't know, it was a half pound versus a quarter pound. The bun was much bigger. The bun, I believe, had seeds on it versus what's here. Definitely the burger here at Castaway and the burger at Flo's V8 were much better than the main dining room hamburger.
Okay. What else did he have? He's had the
Hamburger.
Yeah, hamburger.
Oh, you like the
I
hamburger?
love the hamburger. Grilled out hamburger. That was great.
I should have gotten a burger. I may have to get one of those.
Oh yeah. I recommend the burger.
And if you'd have put the cheese on it, you would have really loved
Yeah,
it.
I missed the cheese.
Okay.
The cheese comes before the bun, I
I
guess.
told y'all it was backwards.
It's kind of backwards.
That's the reason I missed the cheese. So,
Okay.
and all the dressings come before the bun. So,
Yep.
So
My wife got the corn on the cob. She always loves the corn on the cob. She loved it this day. I'm sure she'll get it every time she comes. But yeah, that's definitely a good choice for her, that little piece of corn on the cob that she can get as she's first going through that warm area. Now, many of the other items we'll speak to are kind of like when you turn the corner, and that's the area with the fruit and with the other sweets. The chocolate chip cookies, the three of them got them. I think they all love them. They love this big old chocolate chip cookie. It's a big old thing. It's a lot bigger than what you get at room service. I don't blame them. I'm not a huge chocolate chip cookie eater, but they loved it. Good for them.
So I guess we can start out. How's the cookie?
Cookie is delicious. I could eat a bunch of these. They're moist, chocolatey.
They're
Good.
chocolatey.
Very good cookies.
How about your cookie?
Cookie good, the chocolate chip cookie, I love it.
And then your cookie?
Cookie's wonderful.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Didn't ask you about, you've liked the Diet Coke so far. How about today's
It's good
Diet
again.
Coke? Because that's an unusual
That's
thing
very
for a Diet
unusual.
Coke.
It's usually flat.
I tried the Texas cornbread. Texas cornbread was what it was, a little sweet, had the corn in it. Good enough, but nothing that I really needed to complete my meal. Now, one of the big things that I loved, it's called a lemon raspberry crumble loaf. Looks like a little bitty pound cake in and of itself. Tried the first one, I thought it would have been lemon something, but it's lemon raspberry. Makes sense. It was excellent. It was soft, it was sweet. I went and got one. I probably had 2 or 3 of these little lemon crumble loaves. I don't know why I can't remember that. Just looks like a little pound cake to me. Excellent, excellent choice.
Whatever this is.
Then he ate one of these here things.
Whatever that is. That's
And you
good.
can have that.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't want
take
it.
it.
It's a lemon like a pound cake or something.
Yeah, I love me some cake.
So, yay.
Yeah.
I think it was a success on his end.
Oh yeah.
One last thing that I know of we got was a chocolate fudge brownie. It was a little round. It kind of looked like maybe a little muffin or a little cupcake in many ways. It's fairly rich. I tasted one. It was very, very chocolatey. A good choice if you like chocolate. Again, I'm not an absolute chocolate lover. I'm more so a person that if I could get a fruity type of deal, a lemony, a raspberry, a cherry, a strawberry, a blueberry, that's what I'm looking for. But if you're in and you need that rich chocolate, that chocolate fudge brownie is probably just for you.
The brownie, it's a little good, but I love brownies.
So we left out. We were fat and happy. We left and we had plenty of food, and it was excellent. We love this location. We love the food. A little bit later, I got out and went down to the middle area again from our cabana to the middle area. It wasn't that long of a walk. And when I went to get the ribs. We didn't try the ribs. We've always heard about the ribs. The line wasn't that long, so I went again, washed my hands, went through the process. Got the ribs. Also might have gotten another ribeye along the way. Yeah, I did. But I wanted to bring those back to the cabana for everybody to try those ribs. We brought them back to the cabana. Everybody tried those ribs, and I can tell you everybody loved the ribs. No doubt about it. If we go again, I'm definitely getting the ribeye steak, which I always do. I'm definitely getting the ribs. I may get a burger. I may try all 3 of them. And I know I don't need all 3 of them. Most definitely don't need them. But that's the thing about going on a cruise is you can try things. You can eat things that you normally wouldn't eat. You can go through and do things like that you normally wouldn't do. So yeah, definitely would come back and get those barbecue ribs. They were a huge, huge win. So bottom line, all in all, we love Serenity Bay BBQ. We love Serenity Bay, the adults beach, and that area of Castaway Cay. But definitely love this. Now, if I had to eat over at Cookies and Cookies 2, would love it. But you know what you wouldn't get? You wouldn't get that ribeye. That's one thing you do not get over at Cookies and Cookies 2. It's my understanding you don't get the barbecued ribs over there as either at Cookies and Cookies 2. The last thing that they have here at Serenity Bay that they don't have over at Cookies is a lot of time they grill a lot of seafood. Grilled seafood is only here at Serenity Bay BBQ, not over at Cookies 2 or Cookies. So another reason where if you're an adult and you can go to the adults beach, you may want to go over there and give it a shot. Really for those specific items, the ribeye, the barbecued ribs, as well as any grilled type of items that you would not get over on the main family beach. So folks, that was our walk around Serenity Bay BBQ. That was our opinion. That was our showing you some of the food. We're going to have about a dozen other videos, a lot of these opinion type of videos as well for various different eating establishments, as well as we're going to show you a room, especially a handicapped room, room 8184 that we will speak to, that you might be surprised how large this room actually is. So you want to check that out. So if you would subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when something has been posted related to Disney cruising. So folks, until next time, happy meandering.